Good morning. Welcome to day 75, Contemplativity. This is your water birdies. Hope this day is finding you well. Today on the phone with me, I have Harlow and William, who we're rounding up a beautiful story about a voyage across Canada, and they have come down into Seattle, Washington. Oops. They're 21 and 18 years old at the time of this voyage. And so what we wanted to talk about today for tapping and DeStress series, start tapping, is something that Harlow was talking about. She was saying that the important thing about her trip, among many things, including the fact that she was able to really learn that her first teacher is right here inside her heart. And that is a beautiful Cheyenne saying, but that she learned from the Manitoba Indians of Canada. And also learned that in Connecticut at a dance that the Native American Indians from around the North American region were giving. So the thing that Harlow wanted to share that was significant about what's going on today, because she's a critical care nurse in Nebraska now. And so across the country, we're having a lot of pandemic confusion as well as some real solid science on what we need to do. And so we were talking about one of the things that is really confusing is that the media is maybe not representing this well. And one thought that she had was when she was in Seattle at that time, the volcano, Mount St. Helens, was going to blow. So keep on tapping. So the media at the time, the scientists were registering rumblings in the volcano. And so they were able to tell the public that the volcano may in fact very well be exploding. And this is a very important thing to know, because right now we are being told by our policymakers and by our scientists sometimes different things. The lucky thing that Harlow was saying was that in the Mount St. Helens rumblings, the science and the policymakers and the media all correctly related events so that people would be safe and get out of harm's way. Now, what's happening now, for instance, in the KSBW this morning or yesterday in the news, there was a respiratory therapist talking in her little hospital in Salinas Valley, California. And she was saying that we need to wear masks and be very, very careful because there are not enough nurses to be taking care of an extra load of patients. Follow that segue immediately before and after the respiratory therapist comments is a beautiful picture of downtown Salinas and two women with no mask on saying, "Come on down to Salinas and go shopping for Christmas. We're all open. We need you to keep our businesses open." Followed by another man with no mask downtown with his bags saying, "Come to Salinas and visit and shop. All the shops are open. Keep us open. Yay, all the businesses." Well, there's a little discrepancy here, because really what we really need to do is everybody needs to just stay home, wear your mask. You can shop online for Christmas gifts, things like that. But right now, the fiscal and the regulatory policies need to coincide with what's actually happening. And what is actually happening is that for every 100 cases that we have an increase, keep on tapping, we have 1.7 deaths, like 3 weeks later. So those lines go exactly correlating with one another, all the way up and up and up and up in the US. And then just before, right at Thanksgiving, there's a dip down in the number of cases. And they're thinking that the reason is because less testing was done because more people were traveling. We know that over 1 million people traveled on airplanes on Thanksgiving and the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So there was a lot going on. So maybe the testing was a little bit low. But so we will see that prior to Thanksgiving and on Thanksgiving Day, every minute there was a death. And this is projected to get worse because now the cases are being reviewed again and they are going up, which was expected. So we are going to be doing our tapping on vibrant health. Violent health. Violent health. It just it behooves me. We really need to, and apparently other people too. So we want to thank the New York Sheriff Office for shutting down a 400 plus Manhattan office party over the Thanksgiving weekend last weekend. Because only a few people were wearing masks. And we would also like to thank Israel for doing some really neat things with food. There's been some studies that have come out that people who have a BMI greater than 40 have a very high mortality rate with COVID-19. And so they're actually thinking of vaccinating those people and the healthcare workers first. And that will relieve some of the stress on the healthcare system. But some of the things that are being talked about by the World Bank report and also through the Navajo Nation Health Director Jill Jim, who is going to be on our National COVID Task Force with President-elect Biden. She's already been nominated to it. And so some of the research is showing that if we can get people to instead have countries be delivering boxes of fresh vegetables and fruits, like in Chile, they're doing that to help reduce the BMI, the obesity rate, and to promote healthy living. Israel is doing something like that by putting warning labels on packages of things that are processed, and also promotion of eating healthier. So that's about as close as we have right now to a country doing that kind of fiscal and regulatory health promotion. And so we would like to see more of that happening so that we can reduce the obesity rate and then help to increase the risk of or the benefits, that people have so that we can beat this virus. Right now, we know that the way to beat the virus, keep on tapping, is to minimize our contact with other people who might be carriers, asymptomatic or symptomatic. And also, so ways that we do that is by wearing a mask, and this is what we do in the healthcare system. We look at the science, and then we take that science and we apply it to have evidence-based practice lead and guide us. And so for us, in the health profession, we're finding that wearing a mask helps to prevent the virus from getting to us so we can care for others, and also socially distancing oneself. So when you're outdoors walking, you can wear a mask. That will help to prevent other people from getting sick, so we can reduce the load on the healthcare system. I think that, it's another saying that Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe tribe, they said that what the people believe is true. So when Harlow was in Seattle and the volcano was going to blow, the people believed the science and they believed what the media reported was true. And this is something that we need to do. Again, we need to have correlating science and the media. So if a respiratory therapist comes on and says, please stay home and wear your mask, and then you do want to have appropriate media. Also, maybe they could say, the businesses are open for a limited number of people. Wear your mask. Do not come in mass quantities, but just come one person at a time and come and shop safely. Or you can view our things online, things like that. So part of this DeStress series is to de-stress. So we hear about the news, and we also hear about what the appropriate right action to take based on science and their medical practices that are suggested. So we know from tapping that we need to tap away any kind of stressors. So what we'll do first is we'll tap on some confusion from what we're hearing in the media, and then we'll tap on deserving to hear the right, correct truth, and then we'll tap on having that radiant, beautiful health. Okay? All right, so Harlow and William have done this before. We're going to repeat after me. Even though I have this confusing information being given to me and to others, I understand and love myself. Even though I have this confusing information that makes me angry, I deeply and completely love and accept myself exactly as I am. Even though I have this confusing information that's inside of me, I know I also have clarity, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself exactly as I am. This confusing information all this opposite information, what do I do with it? People are saying, come out and party. Come out and go shopping. And health professionals are saying no. Health professionals are saying don't do that. Health professionals are saying they're overwhelmed. And to prevent further overwhelm of the healthcare system, it's a very good idea to do as the healthcare system does. And wear your mask and socially distance. Limit the number of people you see. And continue to buckle down as difficult and frustrating as it is, maintain your strength. As much as you have, and as much as I have, fatigue inside of me, I also have 50% power. I have 50% fatigue, and I have 50% power. I get to choose which one I feed. I can choose to feed the power by doing tapping. 1 week of tapping and meditation reduces cortisol levels 37%. 1 week of tapping and meditation raises immunoglobulin levels 113%. In particular, the IgAs of the respiratory tract, like those that COVID-19 likes. I deserve health. I deserve health with or without COVID-19 in my environment. I deserve this radiant health. I see myself in radiant bliss. I see myself feeling good. I am that great feeling person. I am that person. I am that person. I integrate wellness with or without COVID-19 in my environment. I integrate wellness, and I possess everything in me to become healthy. I have everything inside of me. I have 50% confusion, and I have 50% clarity. My first teacher is my heart. I look within, and I listen to science, and I know the tapping boosts my immune system, lowers cortisol levels, so my body is flooded with hormones and neurotransmitters, giving my body and brain a burst of wonderful hormones and neurotransmitters, such as dopamine, the go-get-em hormone, and serotonin, the I've got it hormone, which release oxytocin for birth and intimacy and love. I love myself wholly and completely. And now with tapping, The oxytocin also unlocks 2 other neurotransmitters. All this and more. We're boosting the immune system. You are releasing neurotransmitters such as nitric oxide, which helps to oxygenate the prefrontal cortex. And this is where I make good decisions from. And opens up my self-awareness. I am aware of what I choose. I choose safe practices. And don't forget the other neurotransmitter, anandamide. These are all feel-good neurotransmitters, not to mention the biochemicals that science shows us objectively matches the subjective feelings. This is true. What is life? It is the flash of a firefly in the night. What is life? It is the breath of a buffalo in the wintertime. What is life? It is the little shadow which runs across the grass and loses itself at sunset. Thank you, Crowfoot and Blackfoot, for that beautiful poem. What is life? I now see myself in perfect radiant health. I talk in radiant health. I walk in radiant health. I am in radiant health. Thanks, Harlow and William.